Hello humans, it's me again, and today I have another original story. It's a short comedy. It's called That's the Kingdom Life, and so I'm gonna let you guys read it with me. So here we go. The print's a little small. I forgot to increase the size of it. Sorry guys. Anyhow, let's begin. That's the kingdom life. Oh boy, here we go again, says the king of foxes upon waking up. You might be wondering, why is the king so upset about waking up? Well, that is because being the king, especially the king of foxes, is far more difficult than it looks. With the help of his servants, the fox king will begin his long morning routine all over again. The fox king goes to ring his bell to summon his servants, but as usual, the bell is nowhere to be seen, as it has been stolen again. He sighs and stretches loudly. "Servants!" the Fox King cries out. Right away, a variety of foxes come running to tend to their king. "Which one of you stole my bell?" the king asks, raising an eyebrow. With confused looks on their faces, the fox servants glance at each other. The king waves his hand at where the bell should be. None of the servants admit to it, so the king gives up. "Make me some breakfast. I can't think on an empty stomach," the king orders. Half of the foxes run back out of the room, and the other half stay to help the king get ready for breakfast. The servants brush their king's hair and comb his beard for him. They also wash and scrub his hands and feet so that his nails are shiny clean. Once that is done, they help prop him up so he won't choke on his food. "Thank you, servants," the king says with a nod. "Anything for you, your majesty," the servants say, grinning. The other half of the servants finally return with a shiny silver dome-covered platter. "The food is hot and ready, your majesty," one of the servants announces. "That took a bit longer than I expected," the king says, putting a hand on his beard. "Bring the bed table out." With that, the foxes wheel in a marble table on wheels and place it over the king's lap. Then they set the food platter down. "All right, did you make me my favorite breakfast as usual?" the king asks. "Pancakes, eggs, and crustless toast, sir," one servant reports. "Good, good," the king says. He lifts the lid to find that the stack of pancakes is shaped like a bell. The king says. "That better not be..." The foxes wait with pleasant little smiles as the king lifts the pancake stack. The smiles grow larger as the king brings the pancakes to his mouth and bites down. Cling! The king stares at the pancake-coated bell for a moment and bursts out laughing. "Now who did this thing?" the king asks. Of course, nobody admits to it, even though the king is in a good mood. The king then sets the pancake bell aside and eats the rest of his breakfast. The servants wait patiently, looking to see if there is anything they can help with. "Servants?" the king says after a while. All of the servants nod, showing that they are paying attention. "Go clear my walking path. I intend on having a stroll," the king says. "Right away, your majesty," the servants call out. They grab their supplies and rush to the door to scrub this walking path before the king goes to walk on it. "Pancake Bell," the king whispers with a chuckle, glancing at the mess one more time. He then leaps out of bed as a fox and runs towards the door. "The path better be clean. I'm on my way out," the king announces. "Yes, your majesty, just be careful. The path has not dried yet," one servant says, approaching the king. "Thank you," the king says. Every day after breakfast, the king walks the same path. It's a long, winding one that goes through a stretch of trees before coming out on a courtyard with many flowers. "Ah, such a nice day," the king says. Another fox springs out of the bushes suddenly. Boo! It cries out. Ah! The king screams. Ah! The other fox screams. The two stand up on their hind legs and place their front paws on each other's shoulders and resume screaming in fear at each other for the next few hours. As soon as the sun reaches the highest point, the two go their separate ways. The king returns to his castle, and the other fox goes back to where it came from, as though nothing just happened. "Servants," the king says, clearing his throat. "Yes, your majesty," the servants cry out, rushing over. "Get me a drink, my throat is sore," the king says. "Right away, your majesty," the servants call out. With that, the king sits down on his throne and opens a letter. Complaints of some lunatic screeching every day before sunhigh? I wonder who's doing that, the king says with a chuckle. The servants return with a goblet. "Test it, will you?" the king says, grabbing another letter. The servant sips the drink a little, and then sets it on the table. "Tastes delicious," the servant says. "Well, you just get that one sip. It's mine," the king says, taking the goblet from the table. For whatever reason, the king places the letter in his mouth instead of the rim of his goblet. "Pleh!" the king says, spitting his letter out. "Whoops!" The servants jump at the letter and rush to hand it back to the king. "Thank you," the king says, sipping his real drink. "Your Majesty, excuse my interruption," the advisor says, slipping into the room. "Yes, what is it?" the king says, bubbling his drink. "Have you thought of getting a wife yet?" the advisor asks. "You ask me this every day," the king says. "You really should consider starting a family, otherwise the kingdom might fall into your cousin's possession," the advisor says. "Oh no, my cousin? You mean the crazy one?" the king asks, putting his goblet down. "Yeah, that one," the advisor says. "I'll be thinking about it," the king says, grinning. "Very well," the advisor says and leaves. You hear that, guys? What a wild idea. The kingdom falling into my cousin's hands. "He's a total nutcase, I tell you," the king says and laughs. The servants laugh as well. After all the letters are read and mostly ignored, night comes and the king has a sit on the roof. "Such a lovely night," the king says. "I can see my whole kingdom from up here." The wolves in the neighboring kingdom howl at each other. The king chuckles, amused. "Silly wolves, I wonder what they are fussing about," the king says. "Your Majesty," a voice calls. The king jumps, nearly falling off the roof. "Aye, careful," the king says. "I just wanted to let you know that your bed is ready. We warmed it up for you," the servant says. "Oh, that's thoughtful of you," the king says. He climbs down the ladder back into the castle and follows the servant back to his room. As usual, all the servants cluster at the doorway to watch. "Looks good, thanks," the king says. He hops into bed and a high-pitched noise occurs. "What?" the king says, looking confused. The bed slowly deflates underneath the king, leaving him sitting on the floor. "Okay, now where is my real bed?" the king exclaims, laughing. The servants take the deflated bed and push it aside before pulling the real bed out of the walk-in closet. "There it is," the servants say. "Wow, you guys, just wow," the king says. With that, he climbs into bed and the servants tuck him in. Oops, there's a typo right there. "Sleep well, your Majesty," the servants cried cheerfully. "And you guys as well," the king says with a yawn. The end. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it despite that one typo. And if you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Bye!